Today I'm going to tell you an interesting story about the life of Saint Angela of Foligno. Saint Angela was an Italian tertiary nun who became famously known as the teacher of theologians and is also the patron saint of widows and penitents. She was born around the year 1248 in the town of Foligno in Italy during a time when medieval society was shaped by social classes and strong religious traditions. Her family was wealthy and she grew up with a comfortable life, and she was also surrounded with privilege and fine clothing. When she was young, she was married to a wealthy man and she had several children. For many years, she openly admitted that she was proud and that she was deeply attached to worldly pleasures and lavish comfort. She also confessed that she was very impatient and spiritually careless, and even though she was baptized as a Christian, her faith had never taken root in her heart. But in her late 30s, her life began to take a dramatic turn when she experienced a growing sense of spiritual unrest. In one evening, she reportedly had a vision of Saint Francis of Assisi, and she recognized the emptiness of her life. After this vision, she became increasingly aware of her sinfulness. Over time, her conscience deepened, and she finally made a full and sincere confession, which marked the beginning of her dramatic conversion. But soon after, her life was shaken by a series of devastating losses. At first, her mother died, followed by her husband, and eventually all of her children. These tragedies brought intense sorrow upon her, and instead of becoming desperate, she came to see them as moments that freed her from worldly pleasures. She then sold all her possessions and started to live a life as a penitent widow. She then joined the Third Order of St. Francis, adopting a simple way of life. Inspired by the sufferings of Christ, she practiced severe acts of penance and devoted herself to caring for the sick and the poor. As her external life grew simpler, her interior life grew extraordinarily deep, and it was at this moment that she started to experience mystical visions and profound insights of the love of God. Because she was illiterate, she later dictated all her spiritual experiences to her confessor and spiritual guide, to a Franciscan friar. These writings were later compiled into what is now known as the Book of Angela of Foligno, one of the most important mystical texts of the Middle Ages. In it, she describes stages of conversion, purification, and union with God in strikingly honest and emotional language. This is why she was called the teacher of theologians, because of her extraordinary depth and clarity of mystical theology. In her later life, she remained deeply humble. She also suffered great physical pain, and she accepted it as sharing of Christ's passion. On January 4, 1309, she happily passed away, and she was surrounded by her companions. After her death, her body was buried and preserved in the Church of San Francesco in Foligno, Italy, where the faithful come to offer prayers and seek her intercession. Today, she is venerated as the patron saint of widows and penitents, and her feast day is celebrated every 4th of January. If you like stories like this, support us, follow, like, and subscribe.